It's by writing a text I published on my Twitter and Instagram that I share with you now, as there are no social networks here. We don't need to agree with the way someone else chooses to live to respect them. Respect is an agreement. Respect is a connecting verb. It's a stance that reflects how much we've overcome our tribal ancestry, which considered others a threat, to live with different convictions. It's not necessary to give up our own. We don't need to be enemies just because we don't choose to live together. Ultimately, we are all human. If we remove the colors from our differences, what's left is an existential six with the same needs. And it's true. Good evening, Mr. Christian. How are you, my friend? Thank you very much for your presence. That's very true. When we have the opportunity to listen to people, it's not because we are priests and in our ministry. There are many people who confess or who say to us, even if it's not in confession, things they naturally don't say to others. We still represent this a lot in society, and thank God, I hope this trust continues, because if we lose this, the world becomes even more needy of spaces for us to be true. I think religious bodies are the same as I was talking about before. I have deep respect for all pastors, for all priests, for all religious leaders who play this role responsibly, giving others or granting others a right to be, right? Heard. And the more we listen to people, the more we realize that we are all equal. When do we take this off? This costume that we wear? When are we just us? The costume we wear, I say, what we socially present to others is not that or that, letting it be placed upon us. Our titles, our diplomas, the work we do, no, with all this, it's dispensed with, and we are just us. What's left is a needy being. That's all that's left. We are all very needy. We are in need of affection. We are in need of fidelity, of care, of convictions, of sharing. We are all very tired of the life we live, of the superficiality that prevails. So, when do we strip ourselves of all this? We are all very similar. We make the same mistakes, in the same way. We may even have different sins, but we make mistakes. We make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And the more we are aware that we are these fragile beings, the greater our tolerance should be. Tolerance for those who are fragile too. Understanding is. This verb love is a linking verb, right? Respect is a verb, not here as an instrument of connection. Respect? When? There. Not me. I don't need to agree. Of the other? But I do. What the other is saying is his conviction. Jesus didn't impose anything, nothing on anyone. I can propose. I can continue proposing as Jesus proposed. The rich young man didn't stay. When he heard Jesus' proposal, he decided to leave. He had the right not to belong. We can't impose Christianity on others. We can't impose our Christianity. We can propose. And the more sympathy we put into proposal, the greater the other's ability to believe what we are saying. Enough of proposing a gospel in an unfriendly, arrogant way, as if we were the best. No, that doesn't make sense in today's world. We were talking about this late. This new generation that is emerging, this new generation is very truthful. It is increasingly eager for the truth. So, if we don't know how to dialogue with this generation, because it is possible that soon we will have many of our temples empty. 12. We need to speak to this new generation in a friendly way so that they can understand that what we are proposing only does good. But if we go with arrogance, we get lost along the way. If we go, it is, with impositions, propose. With another, they are not obliged to adhere. The other is not obliged to have the same convictions as you. The other is not obliged to be Catholic like you. We propose, and our Catholicism will convince to the extent that it is authentic, to the extent that it arises naturally in our attitudes. But the other is not obliged to be. The Pope, when he speaks of the rules, they, looking at us, Catholics, others can adhere, or not. Isn't that the case? If he is not Catholic, he is not obliged to listen to the Pope, authority, for us who are. So he says to us, and whoever does not feel comfortable needs to reconsider. The Christian proposal? The more we include other people, the better. But this inclusion, whoever is not Christian, whoever has not found themselves within Christianity, is not obliged to live by our standards. What are common rules? Those that were established by law, by the state. That is, it is common to all of us. For me to be a citizen, I have a code of conduct. I have duties and rights. Much better. But the scope, those who sense in today's world. We were talking about this late. This new generation that is emerging. This new generation is very truthful. It is increasingly eager for the truth. So, if we don't know how to dialogue with this generation, because it is possible that soon we will have many of our temples empty. 12. We need to speak to this new generation in a friendly way so that they can understand that what we are proposing only does good. But if we go with arrogance, we get lost along the way. If we go, it is, with impositions, propose. With another, they are not obliged to adhere. The other is not obliged to have the same convictions as you. The other is not obliged to be Catholic like you. We propose, and our Catholicism will convince to the extent that it is authentic, to the extent that it arises naturally in our attitudes. But the other is not obliged to be. The Pope, when he speaks of the rules, looking at us, Catholics, others can adhere, or not. Isn't that the case? If he is not Catholic, he is not obliged to listen to the Pope, authority, for us who are. So he says to us, and whoever does not feel comfortable needs to reconsider. The Christian proposal, the more we include other people, the better. But this inclusion, whoever is not Christian, whoever has not found themselves within Christianity, is not obliged to live by our standards. What are common rules? Those that were established by law, by the state. That is, it is common to all of us. For me to be a citizen, I have a code of conduct. I have duties and rights. Much better. But the scope, those who read not Christian, those who have not found themselves within Christianity, are not obligated to live by our norms. What are common rules? Those that were established by law, by the state. That is, common to all of us. To be a citizen, I have a code of conduct. I have duties and obligations. I have rights and responsibilities. So, they're within the rules that were established for us as humanity. I always like to say this. I personally like to stick to the Christian rules that are for all humanity, because everything you collect there in Christianity, do you realize that it has an immense capacity to do good to whom? Adele? It's because it is universal. Once, they did a survey in England, believers and non-believers, including Christian content without repeating the gospel, just rules collected from the gospel. The level of rejection was very low, as if we said, look, everything that's being said here is necessary these days. We have North Korea threatening the rest of the world today, from the arrogance and hubris of a government. Megalomaniac, right? A kid who was certainly deprived. People and suddenly has power in his hands because of the country, even if he wasn't prepared for it. He says, humans in power, my people. If only this kid had values, that I could make others understand. The other, with a space to be respected. If only this kid had a peacemaking heart, to see his South Korean brothers, with more tolerance. If only we had governors, presidents of the republic, who had a naturally Christian heart, even if he wasn't Christian, but who had the values of the gospel, with a little philosophy. Ethics? Quite a lot. Yes. Universal values. Sometimes we're saying that the world is in need not of God, of religion. We need to be careful when we say this. But what God are we presenting? What religions are these that we are practicing? They are capable of transforming our conduct as citizens. Welcome. Or is it just an instance of maintaining people's power, of financial interests, and the believer is merely instrumental in achieving that goal? Is it just a place of passage? No. I'm not concerned with that person's religious experience. I'm concerned with the little money they can give me every month to maintain my empire. We need values. We need truly religious people, those who are capable of perceiving the needs of the world. Our planet is in chaos, and people still aren't convinced. What exactly is human attitude causing all this? Our disrespect for our home. The earth is our home, and we live judging our trash on the ground. We live polluting our rivers. We live polluting our soils. With the irregular forces we exert in our homes. With the grease we pour down the sink every day in our homes. The other day I was reading a report about this, how much the oil we use at home and which we dispose of in our sewers. Therefore, this oil pollutes, harms the environment. Okay, but how can we make it work? Recycle, right? Make it work. How can we make it work? Separating plastic from organic waste. Waste that can then be disposed of elsewhere and decompose. We don't want to be the work. We take our half-hour, 30-minute, or 40-minute showers without any awareness of expense. It's my people, our religiosity. If it doesn't change the respect I have for the river, which flows past my house, past my door, I need to question this religiosity. I need to question this adherence. God who doesn't connect me to my home, to caring for this environment. We often have a religious stance completely disconnected from life. I have a feeling that we were educated based on one. From one religion that only taught us to think about our sexuality, the sins of sexuality. We forgot to think about other sins. So much so that, for a long time, the only sin people accused each other was this. And with such serious things happening, why haven't we matured our moral judgment to understand right and wrong? Don't we still accuse ourselves, young lady, of pouring half a liter of oil down the drain? Don't we still accuse ourselves? No. Inner doesn't interpret our carelessness with our rivers as a sin out of so many things that would need to be resolved. Each of us become aware of our part. It's like this. Let's fight, and one day we'll get there. Father Fabio, I'm 35 years old and have a stable professional life. I live alone, a city far from my family, who are in the countryside. I've had several relationships in a collection of disappointments. I'm selective. I don't relate to just anyone. I've spent more time alone than in relationships. Father, I know that everything in life is a time and that God is in control, but I'm very tired and discouraged with my personal life, which has left me very sad, frustrated, and without concentration for other activities. How can I wait in peace and with joy for God's time in our lives? How can we have more faith and apply it to our lives? A big hug. My daughter, there's no magic formula for this. What exists is a daily challenge. I need it every day. A reason to keep me alive. In these difficult times I've been living, I want to thank you. BM said there have been many emails, many letters from people offering help, from people saying they're praying for me. I'm very, very grateful, but I interpret it that this crisis has been good for me. This syndrome is doing me good, because I'm discovering that I can't think too far ahead. My life project isn't for far away. It's for now, tomorrow at the latest. I'm becoming more and more tolerant of this. I received 300 messages on WhatsApp. If I don't want to reply, no, I replied, responding to what's urgent? But there's so much demand, so much delay. That's precisely what triggered this malaise I'm facing. Sometimes we're very inattentive. I tell you that you wrote to me, and I tell you that now you listen to me. We are very inattentive to what we are offering ourselves. We enter into a rhythm. That does not always allow us to extract from ourselves the best. There is no magic formula for us to have faith in life. There is no magic formula for us to be able to live with tranquility, with serenity. What there is a challenge. And I will say the challenge for all of us. There is no stability. We are always on a tightrope. Don't think that there is emotional stability. There isn't. We are always managing this. And the best way to manage it is by understanding the need of the moment. What do I need to do today to get through life? So my commitment is this. In the morning, the day will dawn, and we will find out what the day will be tomorrow. This anxiety of wanting to do tomorrow, what is matter, the best thing to do today is what is matter to be done tomorrow is that when we wake up in the middle of the night and want to solve all the problems we have, when in fact, what do we need to do at that time alone? We anticipate time. We don't know how to deal with it. We've lost the ability to identify the time we have in this time we have. So, sometimes, this anxiety you described is a result of our inability to perceive the present moment. Pay more attention to the life God is dealing with today. Don't neglect the opportunity you have to do Him good. Free yourself from some things. About vice, from speaking, from giving an opinion, from being connected all the time to say this here. Savor life. Savor a moment. Give yourself the right to stop saying you're tired. Find a leisure activity that truly rests. Do something. Pursue a new project. This brings so much vigor to life. Go back to studying. Read a good book. There's so many little things. Go see a good movie, a play. Sending things feeds your soul. Pray a little more. Be more silent. Immerse yourself in this God who is love. Notary's office. But how do we do this? I dive into you. Look at yourself. It may be that there's a long time that you have not given yourself a look that you need. What are you stuck with? Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what would you like me to do for you? Not the other. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what would you like me to do to you? For you? Because if there is anyone who can help you, it is yourself. If there is anyone who can reorient you to make you discover this answer that you asked me, is it you? That it could be that the word of the other helps us to look in the mirror with more lucidity? But the word of the other, if it is not tied to this gesture of looking at itself, for it does not reach our heart, I wish from the bottom of my heart, because in my search today, I'm telling you about something I don't seek. I need to seek this every day. I've never lived through such a difficult time in my life as I have. Every day is a challenge, without losing my good humor, without losing my joy by crying. What's the need to cry? And I rejoice every time I need to search daily. The fruit that will satisfy my hunger today, and I can't store it. It's like a nah. It rains today, I harvest it, I cook it. Rain in the morning is another. The manna that will fall is another. I can't store a nah from today for today. Today's food isn't good for tomorrow. In the daily search, because we begin to die precisely at the moment we already have it. There, may the protection of heaven bless us. May Almighty God, who is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. See you next week, God willing. If a door closes here, one must take shelter there. I need to understand more about God. Why does He take care of me? God takes care of me. In the shadow of your house, God takes care of me. I do not walk alone. I am not alone. Why does God take care of me?